Good morning, everybody. Joe Bernstein here. I'm excited to share with you today about what's going on in my world and what I help my clients with, and frankly, what helps me. So, what I want to talk about today is 5 steps or skills, actually, to step out of overwhelm and into grounded power. So, something that you may or may not know about me is that I am very quick to feel overwhelmed. If my schedule is stacked, if I get a bunch of new responsibilities or activities, or if I have a bunch of events in one week, typically I will start out on Monday. What's up, David Hammer? Typically, I'll start out on Monday feeling pretty overwhelmed. And if I don't figure out my strategy to move past that overwhelm, nothing else matters. Nothing else will happen. Now, many of us, and especially many men, the guys I work with, we believe that we're supposed to just repress and deny and push down our overwhelm. We believe that we're supposed to just move faster, force through it, and push to get things done no matter what. And I actually want to give you a different strategy. I believe that we get more done when we slow down and we actually take stock of what's going on and we become more intentional and more calculated about what we are and aren't doing. So here are the 5 steps that I have. First and foremost, I actually believe that it's time to prioritize exercise. When you're overwhelmed, your nervous system is running high on fight or flight mode. Your mental energy is extremely high. It's anxiety, it's overthinking, it's fear, basically. And those energies will live through and in our body. And we actually need to transfer some of that energy from the head, from the mind, down into the body and through the body and out the body. So it's time to go hit the weights. It's time to do some cardio. It's time to do some yoga. That's the first thing. And you might think, well, Joe, how am I supposed to prioritize that if I'm already feeling overwhelmed? It doesn't need to be long, right? So this week when I was overwhelmed, instead of going to the gym, which often takes me 2 hours, including the commute, I went ahead and went for a 25-minute run and did some stretching at home and cut that time in less than half. Right? Next thing, prioritize and schedule. Now, what this means is you're going to have to actually say no to some things. But I know that when I just have a long list of things to do and I haven't figured out when am I going to do them, then it looks like it's impossible. It looks like I don't have the time. I tell myself that lie. So sit down with the things you need to do. Identify the ones that have to happen and identify ones that can just drop off. Those are kind of the nice to happen. And then from there, put down on your schedule exactly when you will do things. You actually can probably do them quicker than you think, but overestimate the amount of time. Give yourself plenty of time to do those things. Next, gratitude. You actually have to practice gratitude in moments where you're feeling fear and overwhelm and where you're feeling scarcity. If you're feeling overwhelmed is simply a scarcity mindset when it comes to either your time or your capacity. Bottom line, I'm going to repeat that. Overwhelm is simply a scarcity mindset about your fear and your capacity to actually create time or to actually have your actions follow through with, to actually have a success and be efficient in what you're doing. So take time, schedule, and prioritize. And well, actually, I talked about schedule and prioritize already. Practice gratitude. So when you practice gratitude, either call someone up, tell them what you're grateful for, do a gratitude journal. I do after my morning meditations, a gratitude practice where I just speak it up into the sky, into the universe. But you have to be grounded in gratitude to actually feel grounded and powerful. If you don't appreciate what you have, you feel like you could lose everything. Next, creativity. Get creative. Now, for some people, that means taking 5 minutes to do an adult coloring book. Some people, it means taking 5 minutes to actually dance and move their body to some music. But what I'm really talking about here is figure out the things that you normally do on a regular basis and how can you get creative about doing them? I already mentioned it with exercise. Instead of spending 2 hours, I spent 45 minutes on a day where I was feeling really overwhelmed. Additionally, I found out I have a whole book to read this week for a training I'm attending. And the message about that came out a month ago, but it went to my spam folder. So what I decided to do was I could actually combine some of my fitness activities, combine some of my actual time sitting down to eat, combine the downtime that I usually take with reading of this book. It means getting creative. Maybe you need to go ahead and stack activities where you're doing more than one thing at once. Multitasking isn't the ideal, but maybe this is the time to do it. But look at your life. Look at the things that you normally do. Continue to do them, but choose wisely about how and when you're going to do what you're going to do. Next, reach out. This might be the most important thing. Reach out to a friend, a therapist, work with a coach. Maybe you have a men's group or a women's group or some sort of community or family. I know people that have the kind of relationship with one of their parents where if they're overwhelmed, they just call their parents and they just need that time with mom or dad. And then they go ahead and they feel a lot better. For me, I actually spent some time doing all the things I talked about. But on Monday night, when I was feeling so overwhelmed, I talked to a coach that I work with and it helped me understand what I absolutely needed to get done. It helped me understand the things that I could drop. And it just helped me offload and unload some of the emotional energy behind what my week looked like. So those are some of my tips for when it comes to overwhelm, how to step into grounded power. Because if you don't actually take the time to ground yourself, to prioritize, to practice gratitude, to get creative, to reach out, then you're going to be frenetic. You're going to be moving fast. You're going to actually be adding to the overwhelm rather than reducing the overwhelm. And you actually won't be as effective and you won't be as productive and you won't be as efficient as you would be if you took the time to slow down, get grounded, step back into your power. That's what I got for you today. Go ahead and share in any of the comments some of your go-to moves to clear overwhelm and to move back into a grounded sense of power. And if you love this and you dig it, please share as well. I'm out. I got a client in 1 minute. Peace.